Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a fascinating piece of Australian coinage that collectors around the world appreciate: the 1967 Australian 20 cents coin, especially in very fine condition. This coin may look simple at first glance, but it carries history, value, and growing collector interest that makes it worth a closer look. Let's begin with a bit of history. The 20 cents coin was first introduced in Australia in 1966, right after the country transitioned to decimal currency. So, the 1967 coin is part of the very early years of this new system, making it historically significant. It represents a time of modernization in Australia's economy and currency system. The design features Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, with a young portrait that reflects the era, while the reverse showcases a striking platypus, one of Australia's most unique native animals. This design has remained iconic and instantly recognizable among collectors. Now, when we talk about condition, a very fine 1967 Australian 20 cents coin means it has been circulated but still retains a lot of its original detail. The platypus design is clearly visible, and while there may be some wear, the major features are still sharp. The Queen's portrait may show slight smoothing, but overall, the coin remains attractive and collectible. Coins in this condition strike a great balance between affordability and quality, making them popular among both beginner and experienced collectors. Moving on to the background and composition of the coin, the 1967 Australian 20 cents piece is made from cupronickel, which is a durable alloy of copper and nickel. This gives the coin its silver-like appearance and long-lasting resistance to corrosion. The coin weighs and has a distinctive round shape with a milled edge. Its relatively large size compared to other coins also adds to its appeal, giving it a strong presence in any collection. Collector demand for this coin has remained steady over the years. While it is not considered extremely rare, its historical importance as an early decimal coin keeps it in demand. Many collectors aim to complete a full set of Australian decimal coins, and the 1967 issue is an essential part of that journey. Additionally, collectors who focus on animal-themed coins or coins featuring the monarchy also find this piece appealing. The demand increases further when the coin is in better condition, such as very fine or above. Now let's talk about the current market value. As of today, a 1967 Australian 20 cents coin in very fine condition typically ranges between $30,000 to $50,000, depending on factors like exact condition, luster, and market trends. While this may not seem like a high value, it's important to remember that coin collecting is not always about immediate profit. It's about history, passion, and long-term appreciation. Coins like this can slowly increase in value over time, especially as older coins become harder to find in good condition. For collectors, there are a few important tips to keep in mind. Always store your coins in a safe, dry place to prevent damage. Avoid cleaning your coins, as this can reduce their value significantly. Instead, preserve them in their natural state. It's also a good idea to learn how to grade coins properly, as condition plays a major role in determining value. Building knowledge and patience is key in this hobby, and every coin you collect adds to your experience. In conclusion, the 1967 Australian 20 cents coin in very fine condition is a wonderful piece of numismatic history. It may not be extremely rare or highly expensive, but it carries a story of a nation's transition to a new currency system. Its beautiful design, solid composition, and steady collector demand make it a great addition to any collection. Whether you are just starting out or already deep into coin collecting, this coin reminds us that even simple pieces can hold meaningful value. Next up, coin number 2. Today, we're diving into a fascinating and often overlooked piece of Australian currency: the Australia 20 cents coin from the year 2002, especially focusing on a coin in very fine condition and what its value looks like in today's market. Let's begin with a little history to understand where this coin comes from and why it still matters today. The Australian 20 cents coin was first introduced in 1966 when Australia transitioned to decimal currency. Since then, it has remained one of the most recognizable coins in the country. The 2002 version carries forward that legacy with the iconic platypus design on the reverse side, a unique animal that truly represents Australia's wildlife. On the obverse side, you'll find the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley, which was standard for coins of that era. This combination of national identity and royal heritage gives the coin both cultural and historical importance. Now let's talk about the condition, because condition plays a huge role in determining a coin's value. A coin described as very fine means it has been circulated but still retains clear details. The major features like the platypus, the water ripples, and the queen's portrait are visible, although there may be some wear on the high points. It's not brand new, but it's also far from heavily worn. This kind of condition is actually quite common among collectors who enjoy coins with a bit of history behind them, and it still holds respectable value in the market. Moving on to the background and composition of the coin, the 2002 Australian 20-cents coin is made of cupronickel, which is a durable alloy consisting of, and this composition gives the coin its silver-like appearance and makes it resistant to corrosion, which is why many of these coins still look good even after years of circulation. The coin weighs and has a distinctive scalloped edge, making it easy to identify even by touch. This unique shape is one of the reasons why the coin stands out among other world currencies. When we look at collector demand, the 2002 Australian 20-cents coin is not considered extremely rare because millions were minted. However, demand still exists, especially for coins in better condition, like very fine or higher. Collectors who aim to complete year sets of Australian coins often seek this coin, and some also look for subtle variations or errors that can increase value. While it may not be a headline rarity, it definitely has a place in many collections, especially for beginners and intermediate collectors. Now let's get to the part everyone is curious about: the current market value. In very fine condition, a standard 2002 Australian 20-cents coin typically has a modest value. As of today, it usually sells for around $130,000 to $150,000, depending on its exact condition, shine, and collector interest. If the coin is closer to extremely fine or has exceptional eye appeal, the price might go slightly higher. However, most examples will stay within this range because of the high mintage. Still, the value can always change over time as demand shifts and as more collectors enter the market. For collectors, there are some important tips to keep in mind when dealing with coins like this. Always handle your coins carefully, preferably by the edges, to avoid adding fingerprints or scratches. Storing them in protective holders or coin albums can help preserve their condition. It's also a good idea to learn how to grade coins properly, because even small differences in condition can impact value. And most importantly, enjoy the process of collecting. Coins like the 2002 Australian 20 cents may not be extremely valuable today, but they are part of a larger journey that can become very rewarding over time. As we come to the conclusion, the Australia 20 cents coin from 2002 in very fine condition may not be a rare treasure, but it holds its own charm and significance. It represents a piece of everyday history, a snapshot of Australia's currency system, and a great entry point for collectors. Its affordability makes it accessible, while its design and durability make it worth keeping. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced collector, this coin is a small but meaningful addition to any collection. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins from around the world and their real market values, make sure to stay connected with the channel. There's always something new and interesting waiting to be discovered in the world of numismatics. Next up, coin number 3. Today, we are going to talk about a very interesting and collectible coin, the Australia 20 cents coin from 1981. This coin may look ordinary at first glance, especially if it has developed a rust-like black tone over time. But for collectors, even such coins can carry value and history. Let's begin with a little background. The Australian 20 cents coin was first introduced in 1966 when Australia shifted to decimal currency. The 1981 version belongs to this early era of decimal coins, making it part of a significant period in Australian monetary history. On one side of the coin, you will find the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, representing Australia's connection to the British monarchy. On the reverse side, the coin features the iconic platypus, one of Australia's most unique native animals, which adds charm and identity to the coin. Now, talking about the condition of your coin, you mentioned it has a rust-black appearance and is in fine condition. It is important to understand that Australian 20-cent coins are made from cupronickel, which means they do not actually rust like iron. However, over time, due to environmental exposure, dirt, oxidation, or improper storage, the coin can develop dark toning or black discoloration. While this may reduce its appeal for some collectors, others actually appreciate natural toning because it shows age and authenticity. A fine condition coin means it still has visible details, though it may show moderate wear from circulation. Moving on to the weight and composition, the 1,981 Australian 20 cents coin weighs approximately and is made up of. This composition makes the coin durable and resistant to heavy corrosion, which is why most coins from this era are still in decent shape today. Now let's talk about collector demand. The 1,981 Australian 20 cents coin is not considered a rare coin because millions were minted. However, demand still exists among beginner collectors, world coin enthusiasts, and those completing Australian coin sets. Coins with unusual toning, like black or rainbow effects, sometimes attract niche collectors who look for unique appearances. If your coin has a strong, dark tone but still clear design details, it can still find interest in the collector market. Coming to the most important question, the current market value. In general, a 1,981 Australian 20 cents coin in fine condition is usually worth around $140,000 to $175,000. If the coin has an unusual appearance or is slightly better preserved, it might reach up to $240,000 in some cases. However, because of the dark or black toning, the value may stay closer to the lower end unless a collector specifically likes that look. Always remember, value can vary depending on buyer interest, platform, and presentation. For collectors, here are some useful tips to keep in mind. Always store your coins in a dry and clean environment to prevent further discoloration. Avoid cleaning the coin aggressively because that can damage its surface and reduce its value. If you are planning to sell, take clear photos in good lighting to highlight the details of the coin. And most importantly, keep learning about coins because knowledge always increases your chances of finding valuable pieces. As we come to the conclusion, the Australia 20 cents 1,981 coin may not be extremely rare, but it still holds historical and collectible value. Even a coin with black toning can be appreciated for its journey through time. For collectors, every coin tells a story, and this one is no different. So never underestimate the coins you have, because even small treasures can bring big joy. Next up, coin number 4. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of coin collecting with a closer look at a classic piece from Australia, the 1,968 Australian 20 cents coin in very fine condition. If you love coins, history, or even just the thrill of discovering hidden value in everyday items, then this video is definitely for you. Let's begin with a bit of history. The Australian 20 cents coin was first introduced in 1966 when Australia transitioned to decimal currency, replacing the old pounds, shillings, and pence system. By 1968, the coin had already become a familiar part of daily transactions across the country. What makes the 1968 issue interesting is that it represents the early years of Australia's decimal era, a time of modernization and economic growth. Coins from this period carry both historical and nostalgic value, especially for collectors who appreciate early decimal currency. Now, let's talk about the design and condition of this coin. The 1968 Australian 20 cents coin features the iconic platypus on the reverse side, a unique and beloved Australian animal that symbolizes the country's rich wildlife. On the obverse side, you'll find the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, reflecting Australia's connection to the British monarchy. When we describe a coin as being in very fine condition, it means the coin has been circulated but still retains clear details. The major features, like the platypus and the Queen's portrait, are visible, though there may be moderate wear on the high points. This level of condition is quite attractive to collectors because it balances affordability with decent visual appeal. Moving on to the composition, the 1968 Australian 20-cent coin is made from cupronickel, which is a blend of. This composition gives the coin its silver-like appearance and durability. The coin weighs approximately and has a round shape with a distinctive scalloped edge, making it easy to recognize even by touch. The craftsmanship and sturdy material have helped many of these coins survive decades of circulation, which is why you can still find them today. Now let's explore collector demand. Coins like the 1968 Australian 20 cents are quite popular among beginner and intermediate collectors. While they are not considered extremely rare, their historical significance and classic design make them desirable. Many collectors aim to complete a full set of Australian decimal coins, and the 1968 issue is an essential part of that journey. The demand also increases when the coin is in better condition, such as very fine or higher grades. Even though millions were minted, finding well-preserved examples adds to their appeal. Talking about the current market value, a 1968 Australian 20 cents coin in very fine condition generally holds a modest but respectable value. As of today, such a coin is typically worth around $145,000 to $175,000, depending on its exact condition and market trends. While this may not seem like a huge amount, the real value lies in its collectability and historical importance. Coins in higher grades, like extremely fine or uncirculated, can fetch higher prices, making condition a key factor in determining value. For those of you interested in collecting, here are some helpful tips to keep in mind. Always handle your coins carefully to avoid adding scratches or damage. Store them in protective holders or albums to preserve their condition over time. It's also a good idea to learn about grading, as understanding coin condition can help you make smarter buying and selling decisions. Keep an eye on market trends and connect with other collectors, as this hobby is not just about coins, but also about community and shared passion. As we come to the conclusion, the 1968 Australian 20 cents coin is a wonderful piece of history that continues to attract collectors around the world. Its classic design, durable composition, and connection to Australia's early decimal currency era make it a meaningful addition to any collection. Even in very fine condition, it carries both sentimental and monetary value, proving that even everyday coins can become treasured collectibles over time. Next up, coin number 5. Today, we're taking a closer look at a fascinating and often overlooked coin from Australia, the 20 cents coin from the year 2001. At first glance, it may seem like just an ordinary piece of change, but for collectors and coin enthusiasts, even a common coin can hold surprising value and an interesting story, especially when it shows unique aging like a rust green tone and is preserved in fine condition. Let's begin with the history behind this coin. The Australian 20 cents coin was first introduced in 1966 when Australia transitioned to decimal currency. Since then, it has remained one of the most recognizable coins in the country. The 2001 issue continues this long tradition and features the iconic platypus design on the reverse side, a symbol deeply connected to Australia's unique wildlife. On the obverse, you'll find the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, reflecting Australia's historical ties to the British monarchy. Even though millions of these coins were minted, each one carries a piece of Australia's cultural and monetary history. Now let's talk about the condition of this specific coin. A 2001 Australian 20 cents coin described as fine condition means it has been circulated but still retains clear details. The designs are visible, though slightly worn, and the coin may show signs of use like small scratches or dullness. What makes this coin stand out even more is the rust green coloration. This isn't actual rust like iron, since the coin is not made of iron, but rather a form of toning or oxidation that can develop over time. This greenish hue can actually make the coin more visually interesting and sometimes more desirable to collectors who appreciate natural aging. Moving on to the background and composition, the Australian 20 cents coin is made from cupronickel, which is a mixture of copper and nickel. Specifically, it contains about this combination gives the coin its strength and resistance to corrosion, although over many years, environmental exposure can still create unique surface colors like the green tone we're discussing. The coin has a distinctive wavy edge, which not only adds to its design appeal, but also helps people easily identify it by touch. When it comes to collector demand, coins like the 2001 Australian 20 cents are generally considered common, but condition and appearance play a big role in their appeal. A coin with an unusual tone, like a rust green shade, can attract collectors who are looking for something a little different from standard shiny examples. While it may not be rare in terms of mintage, its individual character can make it more interesting in the eyes of hobbyists. Demand is especially stronger among beginner collectors who enjoy building sets of circulated coins with unique features. Now let's talk about the current market value. In general, a regular 2001 Australian 20 cents coin in circulated condition is worth around which is about 150,000 Australian dollars. However, when converted to $175,000, that's roughly around $2.40, $0 to $2.70. 0. If the coin is in fine condition with an attractive or unusual toning like rust green, it might sell for slightly more to the right buyer, possibly ranging from $320,000 to $340,000, depending on its visual appeal. It's important to understand that this value is not fixed and can vary based on collector interest, market trends, and where the coin is sold, such as online marketplaces or coin shops. For collectors, there are a few helpful tips to keep in mind. Always store your coins in a dry, safe place to prevent further environmental damage. Avoid cleaning the coin, as cleaning can reduce its value significantly. Natural toning is often preferred over artificial shine. It's also a good idea to learn how to grade coins properly, as condition plays a major role in determining value. Building knowledge about different coin varieties and mint years can help you spot hidden gems even among common coins. As we come to the conclusion, the Australia 20 cents 2001 coin in rust green, fine condition, is a perfect example of how even everyday coins can hold charm and potential value. While it may not be a rare treasure, its historical significance, unique appearance, and steady demand among collectors make it a worthwhile addition to any collection. Every coin tells a story, and sometimes the beauty lies not in perfection, but in the marks of time that make each piece truly one of a kind. Next up, coin number 6. Today, we are going to explore an interesting and widely collected coin from Australia. The 2016 Australian 20 cents coin in very fine condition. This coin might look simple at first glance, but it carries history, craftsmanship, and real value for collectors around the world. Let's begin with the history of this coin. The Australian 20 cents coin was first introduced in 1966 when Australia transitioned to decimal currency. Since then, it has remained one of the most recognizable coins in the country. The 2016 version continues this long tradition and features the iconic platypus design on the reverse, a symbol that reflects Australia's unique wildlife. On the obverse side, you will find the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, representing Australia's connection to the Commonwealth. Even though millions of these coins were minted, each one still carries historical importance as part of Australia's modern currency system. Now let's talk about the condition of the coin, especially what very fine means. A 2016 Australian 20 cents coin in very fine condition shows moderate wear, but all major details are still clearly visible. The platypus design remains strong, and the lettering is readable without difficulty. While it is not in mint or uncirculated condition, it still holds solid appeal for collectors because of its preserved details and overall clean appearance. Coins in this condition are often the starting point for many collectors entering the hobby. Moving on to the background and composition, the Australian 20 cents coin is made from cupronickel, which is a combination of copper and nickel. This gives the coin its silver-like appearance and durability. The coin has a distinctive scalloped shape with 12 sides, making it easy to recognize even by touch. This unique design sets it apart from many other coins around the world and adds to its charm. Now let's discuss collector demand. The 2016 Australian 20-cent coin is not considered rare because it was produced in large quantities. However, demand still exists among collectors, especially those who are completing year sets or focusing on Australian decimal coins. Beginners often look for coins like this because they are affordable and accessible, while experienced collectors may seek higher-grade examples for their collections. The demand is steady rather than high, but it remains consistent over time. When it comes to the current market value, a 2016 Australian 20-cent coin in very fine condition typically holds a value close to its, which is around $2.20, 0 Australian dollars. However, depending on the market, it may sell for slightly higher, usually between 2,000, 50,000 to 2,000, 75,000 Australian dollars. If the coin is in better condition, such as extremely fine or uncirculated, the value can increase a bit more. While this coin is not highly valuable, it still plays an important role in building a complete collection. For collectors, there are a few useful tips to keep in mind. Always check the condition of the coin carefully, as better condition means better long-term value. Try to store your coins in protective holders to avoid scratches and damage. It's also a good idea to collect coins from different years to build a full set, as this increases the overall appeal of your collection. Patience is key in coin collecting, and even common coins like this one can become meaningful over time. In conclusion, the 2016 Australian 20-cent coin in very fine condition may not be rare or highly expensive, but it still offers value in terms of history, design, and collectability. It represents a piece of Australia's currency heritage and provides a great starting point for both new and experienced collectors. Every coin tells a story, and this one is no exception. Whether you are collecting for passion or investment, this coin is a small but important part of the journey